All right, guys, so here we are now at the top right-hand corner of Darkness Falls. It says Damaga, because this was actually played on the NA server for this game, but that is actually mTw's.Underdark. He is our red Protoss player. His opponent, down at the bottom right there, he is our yellow Zerg player. That is imbaFXO.Lowely. And here we go.
Lowely. Yep, Lowely. I was never quite sure if it's Lowely or if it's like Lowely.
Yeah.
You know, I've never actually heard it pronounced by him before. So, I don't know. I'm just going to say Lowely and kind of try to do it in the middle of both of those. Maybe that'll work. I don't know.
I'll go with it. I
don't know. Tweet at me, GoSudoa. Let me know how horribly wrong I am in my pronunciation.
All right. So, looks like game sounds are just a touch loud for me. So, I'm going to see if that...
Well, while you do that,
I actually don't know which knob I'm turning, but we'll figure it out in a bit. I'll just bear with it for now.
It looks like Underdark's going to be going for either a Forge Fast Expand or some sort of Nexus first. We'll have to see which one he decides to do. And in the meantime, it looks like Lowely, down at the bottom right part of the map, is just kind of progressing things normally. We don't really know what he's planning to do quite yet, but I would probably imagine it's either going to be a pool first or gas first, and then a pool right after that, you know, get the Zergling speed out. Looks like it is going to be a pool first, so a little bit more economical build.
Yeah.
You can keep drones on minerals a little bit longer, of course. And it looks like it is indeed going to be a Forge Expand for Underdark.
Okay, Forge coming there right at the front.
Yes.
No terrible surprise there. Darkness Falls is, of course, a map where you have a... it's a little bit changed since it was in the Mapmaker tournament. If you guys remember from the Mapmaker tournament, you probably remember this gigantic map with just one Zelnaga tower, no gold mineral patches, but it did have an even ground main to natural with a pretty wide ramp. This kind of led to a Taldra Malter-esque scenario where PvPs would lend themselves to nothing but 4 gates because of the even ground main to natural. That has been subsequently changed, and the ramps have been shrunk a little bit.
That's good. Yeah, the 4-gate versus 4-gate wars. That was a dark period in the history of StarCraft too.
I agree with you. So
yeah, well, there's the Nexus going down for Underdark. Going to go ahead and do a 17 Nexus. Probably going to see the cannon go down in just a second here. And in the meantime, yeah, it looks like there's the expansion for Lowely as well. So pretty normal openings for these guys right now. I mean, if you're new to the game, this is pretty common for what you'll see in a Zerg versus Protoss match these days. A lot of maps of Protoss players like to try to do this Forge Fast Expand where you get the Forge and the cannon, and then kind of do the rest of the wall with the gateway. Some people like to use the Cyber Core in their wall. Some people don't. Kind of depends on the player and the map.
Yeah, this was kind of a weird way to get at this build as well, as it held off producing that 18th probe for quite a while, as a matter of fact. And it's kind of interesting positioning at the front as well. I fully expected the photon cannon, you know, pop here in between the gateway and Forge, where it's out of range of roaches, but can send damage right back to them. But it's a little bit different way to get it, kind of the same result. And our Protoss player is double gassing. We're still waiting, of course, on Lowely to see what he's going to do here in a bit.
Yeah, you know, I'm a little bit surprised with the wall-in from Underdark, just because for some strange reason it's always kind of seemed to me that the Protosses, or I'm sorry, that the Zergs in Europe seem to like doing baneling busts against Protoss, even though you'd think it wouldn't be all that great. But by using the pylon as part of your wall-in, you're really kind of making it a little bit more prone to that than it normally would be. I mean, ideally, still you would have a sentry out to kind of defend when that would happen.
Definitely.
Just something I've kind of observed over the last, year or so since the game has come out, that the European Zerg sure do love their baneling busts against Protoss.
Yeah, we saw that kind of in style during last week's games as well.
Yeah, we did, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it happened a couple of times where we were anticipating, all right, well, he's walling himself in now, Macy Stargate come out. You know, we were speculating what was going to happen a little bit later game, and then Baneling Nest, 12 Zerglings, and there you go!
Oh, I like this. Lowely, down at the bottom of the map, has already taken his 3rd hatch, and what he has done right there is going to give him, a much better economy early on, obviously. But Underdark has just put down his Stargate, which, if he can Chrono Boost out of Void Ray, which most Protoss would at this point, send it right to the 3rd. Sometimes you can cause some damage there, sometimes not. A lot of Zergs are starting to really be prepared for that sort of thing.
Right.
So this is, this is a very kind of classic ZVP. I'd say this is a great example of seeing the current popular style of Zerg versus Protoss in the West right now.
I remember when Zergs a couple of months ago were just auto-defending any sort of Stargate play at all because they would follow up 3-base with very fast Evolution Chamber and be prepared. By the time that Void Ray popped out, thus causing your Protoss opponent to sacrifice a good bit of economy unless they're able to incorporate it into kind of late-game army compositions. There's the Chrono-boosted Void Ray you were talking about. See how quickly it takes for us to get to the result of an Evolution Chamber, though. Hopefully just on the back of a sufficient number of queens, he'd be able to defend a couple of air units.
Yeah, I think that's what he's trying to do, is he's just going to try to pump out enough queens. He's still got time to get the evolution. Well, it's going to be tough now, but I think we might actually be seeing this +1 Zealot Void Ray push that a lot of Protoss players have been doing lately. It's really effective. Basically what you do is you get some gateways like you saw, you get your +1 weapon attack, and 1 Void Ray, and you just push with that. And sometimes if, it works out, you can deny the third, things like that. So I've got a feeling that's what we're going to see, but you'll have to see what units he actually decides to make. Oh, Evo Chamber and a Roach Warren coming out now, but it's going to be a little bit late. I'm a little bit worried about our Zerg player here.
Yeah, I definitely am too. It looks like that. Oh, yeah, the Void Ray may have went off to the north. I do believe it took out that Overlord. It did.
That's good.
So that's revealed.
Yep, and this would be about the time now that Underdark would start moving out, trying to get that probe out there to put a pylon down on the map. And you can see that Lowely's looking for that stuff. Oh, he barely misses the probe, though. That is huge.
Yes, he does.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. Okay, he
does. Is he going to warp right into the main?
Yeah, he knows the pylon is there. He's going to use the Void Ray for vision here in just a bit. +1 is just about to finish.
I don't think this is going to work for our Protoss player. That pylon is not going to get... Oh, it may be. He's going to try to warp in those Zelts on the high ground. Yeah, there he goes. And are they going to get in? No!
Oh!
No, he didn't hide the pylon quite well enough. Nice map awareness by Lowely. He's going to take out this pylon as well. And yeah, this aggression just is not going to work out.
Oh, wow,
yeah,
not even canceling those pylons.
Oh, man, you're right. Ugh, that is ugly.
Okay, so now these 2 Void Rays amount to nothing at the moment. So Lowely actually has a huge advantage in this game. You're right, that was so close to just working, though. I mean, 2 more seconds, those Zealots warp in, and he's able to at least start doing some economic damage while he can continue those warp-in cycles. But as it stands now, he had a lot of excess money. He couldn't spend on anything. He lost a bunch of resources from those used pylons, and he's just kind of in a bad spot.
Yeah, what you can see is about 20 supply down, and it's not weird at all for Zerg to be a little bit ahead on supply at this stage in the game, no matter what the matchup is. But he's definitely going to be a little bit more behind because that didn't work. Like you said, he didn't get to do any economic damage. Even if he had gotten those Zealots up there, he might have killed like a queen or two, but I think Lowely was pretty well prepared for that. I got to say, good job by Lowely, too, not overproducing Zerglings in that case, too. He produced just enough to survive. That means his economy is nice and strong. Look at that huge round of drones coming out right now. He's got some roaches for protection. Yeah, Lowely's just looking great at this particular point in time.
I really agree with you. Although I do like Underdark's decision to take the expansion. I think,
definitely.
He's so far behind at this point that he's got to do something. Well, talk about an Artosis pylon there. He's got to do something to just really get himself back in this game. A third base would certainly do that if Lowely decides to play passive at all, which he may very well do, and just kind of eat up to that 200 food points with a lot of upgrades finishing at about the same time and move out afterwards. It would give enough time for a Colossus or 2 to be on the field. But if Lowely sees this, and it looks like he is going to, he may decide that the time is right to put on a little bit of pressure, and that would be devastating for Underdark.
Yeah, Underdark's taking a bit of a risk by doing just so much teching and so much expanding at this point, taking his third along with that it is a bit of a risk. I mean, look at just how small his army is. That's why he's produced so many cannons, you can see. He wants to make sure that he's as safe as he possibly can be. So Lowely does have a bit of a timing here, but he's got to do it now, otherwise that window's going to close pretty rapidly. In fact, it might already be closed. It's going to be pretty close if he decides to move out with this. Oh, and is he going to get the Void Ray?
Void Ray is trying to get away as quick as possible. At the very least, what he's doing now is he's actually buying quite a bit of time for his army back at home.
No kidding. I can't believe he's chasing this Void Ray so far. There he goes. He's like, these are Hydralisks, man. They can't catch anything. They couldn't catch like a 3-legged turtle, man. That's like how slow Hydralisks actually are off creep. So, no, you don't chase things with Hydralisks.
Especially with this walk distance on this map. This is a very, very large map. So
it's a bit large. Yeah.
Now we're on 3 base. We have Artosis pylons galore up for our Protoss player as well, which is just fantastic. Warms the cockles of my heart to see this. But Lowely's
good timing for Lowely.
There is a Colossus thrown down now, though, and we have Thermal Lance coming up in a few seconds. I really think he could have outright killed his opponent a couple of minutes ago. A little tougher to do so now, but Lowely, his economy is going unchecked right now, and he actually is just assimilating a huge amount of resources.
Yeah, there is that. Okay, he does turn around. He does know that he's missed his kind of timing window, but he has taken his fourth. It's not like he's let his macro slip or anything like that.
Sure.
He's getting his Infestation Pit, his Baneling Nest, his Spire. He's getting upgrades. So yeah, like you said, this is what happens when you leave a Zerg unchecked. They can just do everything, and they can do it very, very quickly, too. Look at that Hive already on the way for imbaFXO.Lowely. So yeah, still in great shape. Underdark, he's kind of starting to come out of the dangerous period of his game here. He's going to be able to compete in a little bit. He's still down on supply, but he's getting Blink, he's getting more upgrades. The Colossus count is starting to get a bit higher. So yeah, he's starting to look a little bit more safe, but there's still a lot of game left. I like this by Lowely denying those pylons. That's certainly going to help.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And I got to say, though, go back to what I was talking about before. Underdark's decision to expand right there definitely paid off. Otherwise, he would have been dead at this stage in the game. But, of course, he's on the flip side, as you were alluding to, he's been able to put on no pressure at all on his opponent. And now Lowely is moving to his 5th base. He's already gone 4 at the moment. It's really going to come down to one very powerful attack out of Underdark, and if he can actually inflict some economic damage.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it'd be good for Lowely to try to deny this 4th base as well. I mean, his creep spread is awesome. I mean, you're showing us the creep tumors right there. I mean, that is what you need to do, especially in a game like this. Oh, the Observer's out, so he's going to lose quite a bit of this creep spread, but is he going to be able to deny the 4th? It looks like he might be able to. Some Warpins going in there as well. Oh, he's got to be so careful with these Hydralisks. This is a really bad place to engage.
Yeah,
oh, man.
And he's going to back off at the moment. You are absolutely correct. He runs a few units in, though, does get a beat on when this 4th base is going to come up. He is also maxed now. He's got a ton of Corruptors in play, 12, as a matter of fact, with another 6 coming up. No hint of Greater Spire, though. We already have a Mothership. How did I miss the Fleet Beacon? We actually are at the 15-minute mark, and we have a Mothership now coming up for Underdark.
Man, Underdark is just taking so many risks, but it's pretty awesome. I mean, it might still pay off. Mothership is, I gotta say, it might be a bit excessive. This isn't really the type of map that you can do that, you know, Kiwikake versus Stefano thing where you can move out, snipe a base, and then recall back. It's not really the best map for that type of thing.
Sure.
So I don't really know what he's planning on using that Mothership for specifically. I mean, Vortex is good, of course.
Yeah, but
the invisibility won't really do a lot because there will be an Overseer as soon as Lowely sees that there's a Mothership out.
And in this specific circumstance, we also have a ton of Corruptors.
That too, yeah.
And there's no Archons and no Greater Spire yet. So, I mean, he's going to lose the Mothership very, very quickly. And it's not going to buy him a lot of time on the ground here. This is a very creative, interesting engagement, not something you see a lot.
Yeah, I think these Corruptors are actually going to win Lowely the game. We'll see these Colossi are going to go down so fast. Look at that. One down already, the second one down. The Force Field's kind of helping out Lowely a little bit, keeping his stuff safe while the Colossi get taken down.
Yeah, now all the Colossi have fallen. There's a lot of Blink Stalkers that are left now. If he can kill a good number of Corruptors before they're able to get away, he'll hamper the Broodlord production for quite a while. This will also give him the opportunity to transition to Archons, but look at Lowely's economy and the way he's just remaxing over and over again.
Yeah, he's producing a lot of Speedlings with this too, which is a very good thing to do against Blink Stalkers. He's going to try to blink away, but he's going to lose some more Stalkers. Look at that. Lowely just playing really, really well. He's doing all the right things right now.
And we actually have a carrier now coming up. Of course, it's got 120 seconds before it hits the field.
Yeah, so Underdark has decided that he wants to lose this game, apparently. He's getting the Dark Shrine, though. I mean, that's good. It's going to let him put a little bit of pressure on the expansions. I don't mean to be so down on carriers. I love carriers. It was all I made in StarCraft 1 because I only played big game hunters, but that's a different story.
I've got you there.
But yeah, I mean, carriers in StarCraft 2, it's just so hard to find the right situation to make them work. I mean, they're like one of the few units that hasn't been touched at all in patches since the game has come out. So it's Underdark certainly playing in an entertaining fashion, but I just don't know if it's going to be in a winning fashion.
Well, we'll find out here. If he warps in a few Dark Templar, he could actually put together a force of Archons and allow Vortex to start working for him. And that alone would be able to kill a very, very large force of Broodlords, but that's a big if.
Look at that. Second Spire coming up for Lowely as well. He wants to make sure to get those flyer upgrades really, really quick. I like his play. He's doing all the right stuff. I keep saying it, but honestly, he's playing so impressively this game.
All right, well, the Broodlords are going to start laying siege here to the 4th. Is that going to force Underdark's hands? He does have one carrier flying around there somewhere. Looks like he's starting to accumulate interceptors now, slowly but surely.
Carrier has a lot. That's my text message tone, actually.
Oh, nice. I like that.
However,
he's actually sacrificing his 4th.
Yep, guess that is going to go down. Probe's not being pulled. Goodbye, 4th base. Yep, and so really, I mean, Underdark is at his point now where he's got to make this attack work. This has to be the army right here that wins the game for Underdark.
And it's not a bad composition. Well, you know, minus the carriers, of course.
Carriers are. I don't really like them. I think, but you know, if you can get enough of them out, if you can get all the interceptors there, if you have air upgrades,
right?
Okay, he doesn't have any of that. But,
exactly. Yeah. And now the Broodlords are actually flown away completely.
Oh,
wow.
Look at that, 218 supply. 200.
That's awesome. Okay, here we go. Looks like Underdark's going to start pushing in now. If he's able to vortex all of the Broodlords, or a good portion of them all at once, then he stands a good chance to just overrun his opponent. But that's a big if. It's going to require great positioning out of him.
A lot of drones actually being transferred around the map by Lowely as well. I may have even seen him sacrifice a couple. I must have. He's making 10 overseers right now, by the way.
Yes, he is.
He's going to go for the Slayer's Cella. It's raining men maneuver. I don't know if you saw that, but it's pretty entertaining.
All right, Creep Tumor's getting cleared up now. The Broodlords don't have any way to move themselves out at the moment. This is actually a pretty devastating army that's sitting here for Underdark. It's going to require some pretty great positioning and coordination from Lowely. Here he comes, moving in. Now there, we have the first Vortex, but it doesn't hit any of the Broodlords.
Yeah, that was a little bit odd. A lot of Corruptors, or a lot of Stalkers rather, getting taken out by those Zerglings. And the Vortex is about to finish right now. The Broodlord's just sieging up, taking out everything here. Here come all the Overseers, just kind of hanging out. Why not?
Well, the Banelings actually ended up popping out of the Vortex and doing more damage to the Protoss units than anything else. And it is indeed raining men.
Yep, a lot of Changelings. It's kind of a nice thing you can do to sort of confuse the Protoss army, and it looks funny too because you've got a bunch of little pink zealots running around.
Yeah, we do have one carrier still floating around at the moment, and there's the Changelings patrolling back and forth, but it is going to be extremely difficult for Underdark to come back from this.
Yeah, I like the idea to patrol some Changelings like that. It really does mess up the pathing of the army that's coming through there.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty cool little maneuver. But I think we're just going to see Lowely just kind of roll over his opponent here.
I definitely agree. Lings pretty much counter all of the Blink Stalkers, and there's not enough Colossi for them to be able to just tear through the units en masse. Yeah. There's just not enough stuff here is what it amounts to.
Really awesome idea, too, to use Overseers instead of Overlords to drop your Banelings out of. Yeah, it's a big gas investment, but they move so much quicker. There's no way that the army can run away from those things.
Right.
That was cool. I like that.
One carrier actually doing its work, though, taking out a couple of Broodlords there.
Except for those.
Here come the Corruptors. That's what I was waiting for. Boom.
That's what you get.
Bye-bye.
Yep. So at this point, I mean, the game's pretty much over. Lowely has just played really safely, really cautiously. I mean, the thing is I mean, Lowely made good decisions, but Underdark just kind of let him sit there. He kind of let him do whatever he wants. You know, it was kind of like no rush 10, okay? You know, I mean, that's not something you want to let a Zerg have.
It was a very no rush 15 army composition, too. Mothership carrier. Yeah, we got another Mothership coming up.
That's very true. Yep, very passive game by both players here.
Yes. All right. Well, we're just waiting on the final push, really, out of Lowely. He is maxed once again. A lot of units are just streaming across the map, and any supply he loses, he will be able to immediately replace.
Yeah, that 4th is going to get taken out again. And, yeah, so... Well, it's over 100 supply deficit right now for Underdark, so there's really not a whole lot more we can say, about, maybe he can come back, because he can't.
No,
but we can talk about how cool Overseers look when they're flying in large packs.
Yes, and we do have a Mothership about to pop out here in 2 seconds, so we can take another look at those. No, GG, there it is.
That is it, yep. So, imbaFXO.Lowely taking down mTw.Underdark in Game 1. All right, guys, here we go on Antigua Shipyard. This is the IPL Team Arena Challenge number 2, Qualifier number 2. And here in the yellow from the Team mTw, trying to get a win for his team, it is mTw Sun Cow. And on the right side of the map, You just can't. I don't know. Never mind. On the right side of the map, in the pink from the team FX Open, or imbaFXO, I should say, is Lowely. And you just can't say Sun Cow in like a really severe, cool way.
It is Sun Cow.
Sun Cow.
That's so cool. All right, so here we are, CVC cross positions, as you mentioned here on Antigua Shipyard.
Oh.
Now, I hope
the extractor trick.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Is he going to save up for an 11 pool? No. Okay, he's just going to continue producing units
That's
after
what
that.
I was wondering. Yeah, if he was going to overpool or not. Because
Yeah.
usually outside of Korea, you see 9 Overlord most of the time.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, though, I hope you guys are going to watch Team Arena Challenge 2. The proper tournament, not qualifiers, start next Monday. And we have 16 of the very best teams across the world, and we really do genuinely mean that. We have a $20,000 prize pool featuring the very, very best teams across the world. A bunch of Korean teams are already involved. Of course, we're going to have 2 more teams come out of this qualifier, but, you know, get ready to see the likes of Slayers and ZenX and Evil Geniuses and Liquid and
TSL.
It just keeps on going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be more than fun. It's going to be amazingly awesome. Oh, a hatch first for Lowely. Okay. So you're going to go ahead and do a 16 hatch, it looks like. Nope, that was a 15 hatch, my bad.
Yeah, 15 hatch for Sun Cow, and he's going to go into 16 pool after that, it appears. Not really sure. But back on Lowely's side of things.
Very greedy.
Yes, he is going to have gas ready, but it looks like he did decide to put down pool first, as we mentioned before. So he is going to have that speed league a little bit later, but of course gets him out a touch earlier of a queen as well.
Yep. If Lowely had gone for something like a 10 pool or even like a 9 pool or something like that, then Sun Cow, might be in a little bit of trouble. He might have to, lose a couple drones defending things before Zerglings get out. But luckily for him, Sun Cow, or Lowely rather, why am I getting them confused suddenly? Did go for a little bit later pool gas, so he's going to have some time before the Zerglings do get there.
Lowely did that fun thing and switched colors on us. He was gold last time, and now he is not gold this time because I assume Sun Cow must always be gold.
Yeah.
I'm sure that just comes with the name.
I suppose, yeah. Sun Cow. I suppose if I was named Sun Cow, I'd want to pick the golden sun yellow color.
I'd probably just pick a random color after that. So.
Yeah. Oh, baneling nest. So it is going to be a baneling all in from imbaFXO.Lowely. Is going to try to end the game early here. Queen on the way, some Zerglings, and a spine crawler for mTw for Lowely. Did I get them confused again? All right, great. That's wonderful. So Lowely just making a baneling nest defensively. There's the baneling nest from Sun Cow. Finally.
Yes.
Thank you.
So Lowely, he's actually got a decent chance of doing a lot of economic damage right now. His opponent decided to go into Zerglings a lot slower. The Zerglings, oh wow, for Sun Cow, basically all disappear. We have a few more reinforcements that are slowly making their way in now for Lowely, as he is just trying to produce as much as is humanly possible. This base down here really hasn't been able to be realized yet, and we'll see if some banelings start to get morphed in.
Yeah, Lowely's going to need to do some damage here, because if he can't kill Sun Cow right now, he's going to be so behind that we're going to probably see the GG fairly quickly.
All
See
right.
what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's really going to come down to baneling control. If he can delay long enough for one baneling, or rather it's going to be 2 banelings to take out the vast majority of these, it won't be so bad, but banelings making their way up. Oh, that was the perfect burst. I wonder why I waited so long.
Yeah, he did manually detonate that. That's kind of nice. And Sun Cow may be in a bit of trouble. Oh,
3 for 3.
The banelings 3 for 3. Not ideal.
Took out the larva,
but not
though.
terribly either. Oh, he should. Okay, so he's going to try to take out that spine crawler. That's fine. He can go right after that pool next. No, going straight for the drones. Yeah, I think Sun Cow's in trouble here.
Oh,
always all in.
You're same bad as before.